Hey guys, welcome to Amy's Autopsy Report. My name's Amy, and today I am reviewing a movie that's technically not really considered a horror movie, but it does have some horror elements in it, like it's very gory. So I'm gonna go ahead and review it, and I also think it's just a really fun film. This is a Canadian movie that I believe was crowdfunded. It was based off of a short film that these people did. And that movie is Turbo Kid. I'm going to take the slipcover off because I hate when they put stickers in the corner like that, and the stickers never come off right. Okay, so before I do that, this film was directed by, let's see, hopefully I don't butcher these people's names. Anouk Wissel, Francois Simard, and Johan Carl Wissel. So 3 directors on this film. I guess the best description of this movie really comes from what it says on the cover. Mad Max on a BMX. A bloody BMX ride into yesteryear's future. A lovable blast of 1980s post-apocalyptic insanity. The ultimate midnight movie. That is pretty accurate because this movie was so fun. I haven't seen a movie like this in so long that I remembered hearing about this when they did the crowdfunding for it. And I think that's when I saw the trailer. And I don't remember now if the film was fully funded at that point when I saw the trailer and they were just kind of passing the trailer around at that point, or if they were still taking donations for the project. Here's the cover without the slipcover so you can actually see it. There we have the kid, Apple, Skeletron, and Zeus. And the cowboy. I can't remember what the cowboy's name is. I don't even know where to begin with this movie. I guess I'll do my usual. The things that I liked about this movie, pretty much the whole thing. The acting was well done. I felt like it was so well done for an 80s piece of a film that was made last year or 2 years ago or whenever it was shot. It was released last year. I had been trying to get a hold of this for quite a while. It is out on DVD and Blu-ray. The American version was sold out. So they said that they were getting more copies of it in. I kind of didn't want to risk it because this movie was an independent film, and sometimes I know that they're going to make more copies of a disc, and then they don't do it, and then you're kind of without it. So this version I have is the Canadian Steelbook. So this is the Steelbook version. I really like this movie so much that I'll probably buy the American version too, just for the extra special features, because it has different special features, I'm pretty sure. These 2 discs have the short film, which is T is for Turbo. They have web clips, a making of Turbo Kid, and a collector's production booklet inside the case. I pretty much liked everything about this movie. The costuming was great. The acting was great. The story was wonderful. I don't really want to do a plot synopsis of this because I think that it's more fun if you see this without knowing like a full plot and a whole bunch of things about it. If you are a kid of the 80s, or if you are into retro collection and you like retro 80s stuff, I think that you're pretty much going to love this movie. I think that there's a possibility that if you're not a kid from the 80s, you may not get all of the references, but I'm not really sure. I can see pretty much anybody liking this film if you like that kind of a movie, that post-apocalyptic kind of a feel. Like I said, the costumes were great. Skeletron had this is Skeletron here. First of all, that mask is super cool. He had this, where is it? Right here. He had this hand that had a buzzsaw on it. That was so cool. And I feel like as a kid growing up in the 80s who was into comic books, I was into action figures and comic books. I was into Barbies and stuff too. But I liked to combine Barbies with action figures and do all of this kind of thing. I feel like any kid of the 80s is really going to enjoy this. Anybody that grew up in the 80s that had a brother is really going to enjoy this, because guys are really going to relate to this as, as the comic book, collecting, action figure collecting kid. And I couldn't believe how good this was. The only thing that I was surprised about, it wasn't really a dislike. The movie kind of builds slowly over a little bit of time, but it's certainly not boring. I was never bored once with this film. I was actually debating about whether or not to watch it again tonight before I did this review, but decided against giving away a bunch of details about the plot and that sort of thing. So I didn't end up doing that. This is the kind of movie that makes you feel like you are a kid again. There's certain kinds of movies that I really, really love. I love the kind of movies where you're rooting for the underdog, where you are, it's kind of a group of kids and they all have to band together to complete this task. I just feel like it was a movie where it was just, this movie was great. That's all I can say. This movie was great. I did read some negative reviews about it. People saying, oh, it was low budget nonsense and this and that. But I feel like anybody that's into film and creativity and into the 80s, I can't see how you would dislike this. It's good. And I don't want to give anything else away because there's a few things that are kind of surprising about it. And it is gory. If you're not into gory, you may not like those parts, but, it's not overwhelming. So I think even pretty much most people can handle it. But I feel like people that really know me well, or people that want to know me better, you need to watch this movie because this movie is basically my life as a kid. It's basically my life as a kid. It's almost like my life now. I collect a lot of retro things. I collect a lot of action figures. I've always loved comic books. And, even so much as the discs, I get a lot of people saying to me, why don't you go digital? Why don't you download movies, download your music, buy a Kindle and read your books on a Kindle. And it's like, I don't like that. I like the physical object. I like having the actual physical DVD. I like seeing the cover art. I like, I still have CDs. I still have, DVDs. I still have some VHS. I got rid of a lot of VHS when I moved back to my hometown because I was moving from kind of far away and I had to ship things and there was no point in me saving. I had hundreds of VHS tapes that some I wish I wouldn't have sold, but I kind of have a different goal with collecting VHS now, where I'm going to build a collection slowly that's going to be kind of reminiscent of an 80s video store. All of the covers that I used to see as a kid when I'd go into the video store. I feel like if you want to know me better as a person, you need to watch Turbo Kid, because this is there are other movies that are kind of like that too. There was another film that wasn't that long ago. People didn't talk about it that much, but it was called Super 8, about these kids that get together and they're making a Super 8 film. And I really felt like that played a lot into my, teenage years and college and all of that. Just a fantastic movie. It was low budget. I didn't feel like it looked low budget. They did use a lot of practical effects from the kind of effects they would have used in the 80s. So that may give people the feel that it's really low budget because they're using kind of some cheesy effects. And occasionally, there was some kind of cheese in it. But this movie, I just loved it. I just absolutely loved this movie. I can't say enough good things about it. So, different kind of a movie review. I apologize if I rambled, but sometimes when you get excited about a movie like this, you just got to keep going with it. That's it. The movie's Turbo Kid. I believe it's streaming on Netflix right now. I think you should watch it. It's a fun ride of a movie. I give this movie 5 out of 5 stars. This is probably out of the movies that I've seen all of 2015, that's my favorite, hands down. So check it out. Let me know what you like in the comments. If you didn't like it, tell me why you didn't like it. I suppose, maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I can't see how very many people would dislike it. That's just me. Okay. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the new people to the channel. And I'll catch you in the next one.